Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Freedom by Design, anywhere is possible through e-commerce. This is the Listing Studios podcast where we're flipping the script on what work and freedom can look like. Have you ever dreamt of building a business that lets you do life your way? Whether it's traveling the world, spending more time with your people, or saying goodbye to that boss of yours, then you're in the right place. I'm Tina, global entrepreneur, e-commerce enthusiast, and your guide to turning big dreams into a reality that works for you. Here, we're all about creative strategies, real-world tips, and stories that inspire. So grab a coffee or wine, no judgment, get comfy, and let's talk about how to design a business and a life that you're obsessed with. Let's dive in. Hey there. Welcome back to Freedom by Design, anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I'm Tina, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to bust some biggest myths about starting an e-commerce business and show you how to overcome them step by step. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's chat. Okay, so let me take you back to when I first stumbled into e-commerce. I honestly didn't know what it was. The only reason Shopify was even on my radar was because my little brother at that time was running a Shopify store selling Laotian beef jerky. This was back in 2016, 17, maybe. Yeah, that's right, beef jerky. And that was the full extent of my knowledge. I didn't know how Shopify worked or that e-commerce could truly open doors to freedom and flexibility. Back then, I thought that e-commerce was just about setting up a website and hoping for the best. Spoiler alert, it's so much more than that. But I don't want to scare you off, okay? I will admit, though, that I didn't know about the bigger picture or the myths that can trip up beginners. That's why I'm here to share with you what I've learned and help you avoid some of those mistakes that I made early on. So, before we dive into the myths, let's talk about how e commerce has grown. Did you know that the global e commerce sales went from $3.35 trillion in 2019 to $5.82 trillion in 2023? And it's projected to hit $6.56 trillion in 2025. That's massive. So it's clear that online shopping, it's not going anywhere. And the opportunities are only growing. So let's talk about the myths that might be holding you back from jumping in. Myth number one, you need a huge budget to start. A lot of people think that you need to shell out tens of thousands of dollars to get started. Not necessarily true. In fact, studies show that over 80% of successful e-commerce businesses begin with under $1,000. So focus on one great product, use free trials for tools, and reinvest your profits back into your business. You can totally start small, test the waters, and grow from there. As I mentioned before, I started out using Shopify. So starting an e-commerce business on Shopify is relatively affordable. The basic platform subscription costs about $39 a month. You'll also need a custom domain, which averages about $11 annually, not monthly, annually. And then for Shopify, they have themes. You can definitely choose their free themes, or you can pay for some of their premium themes that can be a few $100s. Starting on Amazon with the tech stack is just as straightforward. A professional seller account costs about $39.99 a month. It gives you access to the FBA tools and analytics. Many sellers invest in software for the product research and keyword optimization and also inventory, but typically it's going to cost you maybe an additional $30 to $60 a month. This is way less than what I had to spend before I opened the door to my second franchise. In episode one, I shared that it was almost $200,000 to build out my second franchise before I was even able to open my doors to make money. Myth number two, a lot of people think that you need to be some kind of tech wizard to start an e-commerce business, but that's just not true. Platforms like Shopify and Amazon, it's super easy for beginners to set up and run a store. Shopify, for example, lets you drag and drop to customize your store. No coding required. Amazon, they take care of things like shipping, customer service, so that you can focus on your products. These tools are designed to take the stress out of the tech side and make e-commerce accessible to everyone. And here's the thing. If you run into issues, help is everywhere. There's YouTube tutorials, step-by-step guides, even live chat support to walk you through it. Plus, there are apps that handle things like inventory, email marketing, and order tracking. And as you know, ChatGPT or other AI platforms better quickly become your business bestie because they've changed my life and many lives of other business owners. You don't need to know it all. You just need to know where to look for help. Myth number three, if you build it, they will come. Oh, I love this one. This is what I like to call the field of dreams myth, inspired by the famous movie quote, if you build it, they will come. Unfortunately, in e-commerce, it doesn't quite work that way. Just having a shiny new website doesn't mean people will magically show up and start buying. So think of it like opening up a beautiful bakery in the middle of the desert. It doesn't matter how delicious your pastries are. If no one knows that you're there, you're not going to sell a single croissant. We see this all the time with clients who hire us to build out landing pages or their full websites. They think that once the site is live, that the orders are just going to roll in. But having a website or landing page, it's just the foundation. You still need to build the road that leads people to it. Without marketing strategies like social media ads, email campaigns, and SEO, that gorgeous site is like a billboard on a back road. No one's going to see it. Marketing is like the signpost that points people to your bakery. Without it, they'll never know what you're offering or why they need it. The good news is, though, that with today's tools and strategies, you can build a solid marketing plan even on a budget. The key is to be intentional, find where your audience is hanging out online, speak their language, and invite them to check out what you've created. When you combine a great product with effective marketing, that's when the magic happens. Myth number four, this one's a biggie too. E-commerce is not some magical set it and forget it business. Yes, you can automate a lot of stuff, but it still takes work. You need to monitor sales, optimize listings, and stay on top of trends. But the good news, once you get your system in place, it gets a lot easier to manage. Okay, myth number five, and we have just one more. Myth number five, the market is too saturated. I hear this all the time that the market's too crowded, I'll never stand out. But guess what? There's always room for something unique. Okay, myth number six, you'll make $1 million in 6 months. So let's talk about one of the most misleading myths out there. The social media highlight reels of e-commerce success. You've probably seen those influencers who claim they started their business 6 months ago and are now making 7 figures. While that might happen for a rare unicorn, for most of us, e-commerce is a long game. Building a sustainable, profitable business takes time, effort, and a whole lot of learning along the way. The reality is, success in e-commerce, it's just not about quick wins. It's really about laying a solid foundation. You need to understand your audience, refine your product offering, and build trust with your customers. These things don't happen overnight. So don't let the highlight reels fool you into thinking that you're behind. They fool me too. And they make me feel like I am worthless. But the real success stories often involve late nights, trial and error, and a whole lot of persistence. E-commerce isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. If you focus on steady progress, keep learning, and staying committed, you'll build a business that doesn't just make money, but stands the test of time. All right, so here are a few quick tips to help you get started. Again, start small, focus on one product, and make it amazing. Don't hesitate to ask for help or use tools that simplify things. Remember, YouTube and AI are your best friends. They're my besties. Stand out. Think about what makes your product unique. Take consistent action because progress beats perfection every time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on Freedom by Design. If you've been holding back because of myths or uncertainty, I hope you feel more confident about diving in. E-commerce is a journey, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. If you found value in today's episode, share it with a friend who's dreaming of starting their own online store. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on next week's episode. Your dream business is out there waiting for you. Let's make it happen together. Thank you so much for tuning in to Freedom by Design, anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take on the next step towards building a business and a life that truly excites you. If you loved this episode, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who could use a little extra motivation today. And hey, don't forget to connect with me on social media or check out the resources mentioned in this episode. You'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep dreaming big, taking action, and designing the life that you deserve. Remember, anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I'll catch you in the next episode.